All right, today we're going to trace a really fascinating line through history. We're going to connect two celebrations that, on the surface, seem totally different. The Persian Yalda and, Christmas. And what's amazing is that it's a story that all boils down to one super powerful universal idea, the return of light. So, what in the world could possibly connect the bright red seeds of a pomegranate, the kind eaten on the longest night of the year in Iran, with a decorated Christmas tree in the middle of winter? I mean, it sounds like a totally random question, right? But the answer? Well, the answer uncovers this amazing story that traveled across entire empires and for thousands of years. Okay, let's get into it. So our journey starts where honestly a lot of great human stories do, with a really basic, fundamental fear. We're talking long before organized religion or big philosophies. This is about humanity facing the raw and frankly terrifying power of nature.
I mean, really try to imagine it. For ancient people, the winter solstice wasn't just, a date you circle on a calendar. It was a moment of deep, real anxiety. Think about it. Every single day, the sun, the very thing that gives us life and warmth, seemed to be getting weaker, pulling away a little more. The nights just kept getting longer and colder and way more dangerous. It must have felt like the entire world was dying.
So, out of that very real fear, a powerful response came from ancient Persia. It was a celebration, but not of the darkness. No. It was a celebration of the exact moment that the darkness started to pull back. And this was the birth of Yalda.
So Yalda happens on the longest, darkest night of the entire year. But here's the thing. It's not a sad or gloomy event. Not at all. It's a festival of pure hope. It marks that precise moment when the tide turns. It's about the victory of light over darkness, when the sun is symbolically reborn and the days finally start getting longer again.
And you can see just how deep this idea runs in Persian culture. I mean, the great poet Hafiz, he uses the darkness of Yalda Night as this powerful metaphor for tyranny. And the sun? That's the symbol of hope and truth that, he says, will always, eventually return. It just goes to show you, Yalda was never just a party. It's always been this potent symbol of renewal.
And the symbolism? Oh, it's beautifully expressed in the food. Seriously, nothing on the Yalda table is there by accident. You've got the pomegranate, right, with all those countless ruby red seeds. That represents birth, the continuation of life. Then there's the watermelon, a summer fruit, which is eaten to symbolize storing up the sun's warmth to make it through the cold winter. Even the dried fruits are there to represent resilience, the strength to endure. But an idea this big, this powerful, celebrating the sun's rebirth on the darkest night, well, it was never going to stay in just one place. It started this incredible journey heading west. So how did it travel? Well, the vehicle for this idea was a religion called Mithraism. It came from the ancient Persian god Mithra, who was the god of light and contracts. And this religion became unbelievably popular all across the Roman Empire. It basically acted like a cultural bridge connecting the East and the West.
And listen, we're not talking about some passing fad here. Mithra has super ancient roots in Iran, going all the way back to the 2nd millennium BCE. By the 1st century BCE, its influence hits Rome, and for the next few hundred years, it just spreads like wildfire. It was especially popular with Roman soldiers, and this went on right up until Christianity became the official religion of the empire.
And the coolest part? We know this for a fact, because the evidence is literally carved in stone all over Europe. These Mithraic temples, they're called Mithraea, have been found hidden under churches in Rome, in old port cities, and even as far north as London and along the German border. It's just a perfect illustration of how deeply this Persian-born faith got into the Roman world. Okay, so this brings us to a really incredible moment of cultural fusion. This is where an ancient tradition finds a brand new, powerful meaning inside the up-and-coming faith of Christianity. All right, to really get the Christmas connection, we have to look at what was already going on in Rome. See, they already had their own huge winter festival. It was called Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, or the birthday of the unconquered sun. And guess when they celebrated it? December 25th. For them, this was the day the sun proved it couldn't be beaten and started its triumphant comeback. And right here, this is the pivotal moment where it all clicks. So on one side, you've got this huge, established Roman festival on December 25th for the birthday of the unconquered sun. On the other side, you've got this new, emerging Christian faith. So what was the solution? It was brilliant, really. They adopted the exact same powerful date, but they reframed the story. The celebration was no longer about the birth of the S-U-N, the physical sun, but the birth of the S-O-N, Jesus Christ, the light of the world. And this is a really crucial point. The early Christian texts, they never actually say when Jesus was born. There's no date. So choosing December 25th wasn't about some historical fact. It was an absolutely masterful symbolic move. It let the new faith tap into this deep, already existing cultural celebration of light's return in the darkest part of the year. The story changed, sure, but that core meaning, it totally endured.
So when you peel back all these layers of history and culture, what are you left with? It's pretty amazing. You find two celebrations from totally different worlds that are rooted in the exact same fundamental human experience.
At the end of the day, whether you call it Yalda or you call it Christmas, the origin is this shared universal need. It's that human need for a little bit of hope when things feel their absolute darkest. It's the belief that ultimately light is going to win out over darkness. And it's that deep, profound promise that after the longest, hardest night, a new dawn is always, always going to come.
So you see, from an ancient Persian answer to the fear of winter, all the way to a global celebration of hope and new beginnings, this story, the story of light's return, is one of humanity's oldest and most powerful. Just like this final verse says, it's a timeless reminder that no darkness, no matter how long it feels, is forever. So the next time you see a twinkling Christmas light or bright red Yalda pomegranate, maybe you'll see something else too. The flicker of a shared story, thousands and thousands of years in the making.